For me, Ole Miss quarterback Jaxson Dart is the second best signal caller in the 2025 draft. Let's put on his All-22 and I'll show you why. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? It's Luke here from PLAJ and we're back in the film room with another All-22 breakdown. And today we're going to have a look at Jaxson Dart because, as I said in the intro, he is my QB2. So why do I like him over Sanders? I think he has a better arm, he makes more plays outside of the pocket and outside of structure, and his decision making is a little bit quicker. Now, yes, there's things that were lacking on tape. You didn't see as many multi-reads and those kind of things, but overall his toolkit is full. Do I want the Jets to take him at 7? Not necessarily, but if they did, I wouldn't think it's a disaster pick. And if they come back into the first and trade up, I think that's a huge win for the organization. So let's start with the biggest positives, and for me, it's Jaxson Dart outside of structure. When it's time to leave the pocket, as you see on this play, he makes a quick decision, he finds a lane to escape, and look how accurate this throw is. There is a defender all over his legs. He has to reset, throw this rainbow over the corner, and that is a strike. It doesn't get any better than this. A lot of quarterbacks can make plays outside of the pocket when they have time to pat the football and reset their feet. There are a handful in the NFL that could make this kind of throw, rolling right. Look at the pressure. Two guys diving at his legs, and Jaxson Dart has the touch to drop this in the bucket for a big gain for Ole Miss. An awesome way to start the video. When it's time to get outside the pocket, and he doesn't do it too much, Jaxson Dart can really cook. And this next play is just as impressive. Off the snap, Jaxson Dart's going to bail the pocket. He's going to be moving to his left on this occasion. Look at this off-platform throw. It's a dime right to his receiver in stride. Yes, this is a clean pocket, but you're not going to have any receivers coming across the screen. So Jaxson Dart goes with the design of the play, finds a space to throw, and as I said, look at this, guys. The ability to throw with both feet off the ground, rip this ball. Ideal location. He's really impressive outside of structure. Yes, NFL games are one within the pocket, but Dart can do that little bit of extra outside of it as well. And you see that from a Mahomes or an Allen or a host of other guys who are in the upper echelon of quarterbacks. Last example of it though, from the bowl game to finish the year, Jaxson Dart feels this late blitz coming from the linebacker. We've got green dogs, get outside, moving left, splits two deep secondary defenders, and once again, just drops it in the bucket. That is an incredible throw. Like, it's elite level arm talent. He lets go of this football from outside the pocket from around 43 yards from his own side of the field, and it goes 50 yards right to his guy. This is incredible. These are the high-level plays in the toolbox that I'm talking about. If you can make this caliber of throw, you've got a chance to make it in the NFL, and that's why Jaxson Dart impresses me so much. This was a ridiculous play. He has great arm talent. You can see why the Jets could fall in love with Jaxson Dart. But I like what he can do from inside the pocket as well. Yes, I think he has a cannon, but the touch that Dart displayed also impressed me. Similar to what I talked about in the Sanders video earlier in the week, look at the trajectory. When he's able to get air under the football, this is ideal. Over the shoulder, in the bucket throw where only his guy can get it. These throws were plentiful on the Ole Miss tape. When there was a single side boundary one-on-one with his receiver, he gave him a terrific chance to win. I know a few people have said they didn't like Jaxson Dart's deep ball accuracy. I completely disagree. I think it's one of the best assets of his game, and there are a ton of examples on tape. Really nice when he gets air under the football. And here's another one. Look, he gets some help here from the wide receiver. But Jaxson Dart, approaching the red zone, lets this ball go. Whew, that is impressive. Now, great one-hand stab from the receiver. You're going to hear a lot more about him in the next couple of days. But Jaxson Dart does a nice job getting his back foot in the ground, aligning that front foot, and once again dropping this football in the bucket. Really like his rainbow trajectory when he was throwing to the outside. Awesome play. And one more. But on this occasion, we're going to introduce something new. When there was a defender in Jaxson Dart's face, he didn't shy away. He didn't start looking to, throw that football away and live another day. He wanted to make the play. Great snap against Florida. DT in his face. I mean, just two hands up, about to take a hit, and look at Dart drop this football in the bucket. I wish he caught this football because it's a phenomenal play and we need to talk about it. When you have pressure in your face, this is when you see a lot of quarterbacks, be it in college or the NFL, really struggle. I thought Dart played some of his best football under duress. Yes, this Florida game wasn't his best overall, but there were 3 or 4 ridiculously high-level plays. This was one of them. When there was a man in Jaxson Dart's face, I thought he showed big kahunas and was really tough. And once again, really nice arm talent as well. Should have been a big play. Awesome from Jaxson Dart. This next snap against the Gamecocks really accentuates what I just talked about. When there's a man in his face, he is not afraid to step up and climb the pocket. Might be my favorite snap from the entire 2024 Ole Miss film. Free rusher coming straight through the A-gap. You got to get this ball away. That is ridiculous. The zip on the throw, the ball placement, the ability to take this hit and still make the throw. He gets off his first receiver. There is so much to like about it. As I said, the tools that this kid has are so impressive. Like, they talk about him not being able to get off his first read. Gets off it right here. Understands there's a linebacker coming on a green dog blitz. The running back staying into block, so we've got an opportunity to rush the quarterback. We've got a free hit, pats that football, and a strike. If this isn't in the perfect location, this is an interception. It's a pick 6 and a house call, but it is ideal location from Jaxson Dart. Watch it one more time at full speed. He gets off his first read here, aligns himself, good footwork, beautiful quarterback play. But in conjunction with that, Dart could just make a guy miss. Just because there was a busted coverage didn't mean the play was over. It's almost when he excelled the most. You're going to see him ride this play action out of shotgun. We got pressure coming from our left-hand side of the screen. This little delayed stunt, Dart sees it. Great vision and feel. He steps up. He protects the football. He gets side on, climbs the pocket, and then has a wide open receiver across the middle. But this can't eventuate, and this play doesn't happen without good pocket presence and the ability to make a free rusher miss. This is the kind of stuff that separated him from Sanders, in my opinion. I saw 5 or 6 of these across the season, and it just makes the life of the O-line so much easier. And this next play is just ridiculous. I talked about the Florida game earlier. Have a look at the eye manipulation here, but also anticipation. I talked about how anticipation wasn't necessarily a strong point of Jaxson Dart's. This is a culmination of so many elite talents that he just hasn't tapped into enough. Let me break it down in a little more depth. Freeze it right here. Top of the drop, he's going to flash his eyes to the flat right now to the running back who's standing out there. Look at the reaction the corner has at the top of your screen. He's going to bite on it. Jaxson Dart then fires in the hole shot with great arm strength from the opposite hash. But in conjunction with that, look at this anticipation on the throw. He separates to throw right now. That wide receiver hasn't even thought about making his break yet. This is out of his hand. Great anticipatory throw. Jaxson Dart has the ability to do it. I said this in the intro. The biggest weakness for him is the fact that a lot of things weren't on film, not that there's a ton of negative plays. These are the things, though, that you have to have hope with. Flash those eyes to the flat, hit the hole shot, the arm strength, but also this anticipation. Letting go of this football right now. The receiver makes his break. He hits him in stride like he has all video long. There is a chance that Jaxson Dart can be a very high-level quarterback. But here's the reason that my comp for Jaxson Dart is somewhere between Jalen Hurts and Bo Nix. He's a really good athlete, not just an okay mover. He can be a weapon outside of the pocket or on scrambles. This one against LSU is fantastic. We're in a clean pocket, no one's open. Bail, that internal clock. He's got speed to make the guys take a bad angle, and look at that hurdle. This is real athleticism. This isn't stuff that will only work in college. He can have a running package in the red zone. He can have some RPOs because he can do this kind of stuff on the move. I'm not saying he's Lamar Jackson, but I'm just saying he's not Zach Wilson or Sam Darnold either. He is a legitimate threat to run and has very, very impressive athleticism, as you can see right here. And it's that internal clock that I just mentioned. He knows when it's time to give up on the play, when there's too many people in his face. Look how Dart says, okay, I have to give up on this. There's guys in every single hole. He has nowhere to go, but he's creative. He has feel as a runner. He's able to make people miss with agility and turns it into a 10-yard gain. This should have been a sack. I think that a couple other quarterbacks in this class would have held onto this football, patted it one more time, and in the end taken a negative play. Jaxson Dart had a way and a nous for staying ahead of the chains, always producing positive plays, and that's why I'm raving about him. That's why Jaxson Dart impressed me. Really nice athleticism, a little bit of wiggle. That's a great snap. And let's get one more example. Going back to that LSU game again that I mentioned earlier, Dart going from 1 to 2. No one's there. Let's get out of the pocket. Let's find a lane and let's turn it into another 10-yard gain. I know people say that he can't go through his reads, but he did plenty of this 1, 2, 3 decision making. You just have to make it wider scale at the NFL level. Jaxson Dart, he's a plus athlete. Don't sleep on his ability to be a runner at the next level. And this is where we hit, I guess, the negatives. Jaxson Dart, as I mentioned, doesn't have a lot of examples reading defenses. Here's a really good one I found. You're going to see coming off his own end zone, 1 to 2 to 3, his receiver falls open, he finds the 4 in the flat. So there isn't examples of him being poor at processing. I think he gets the football off on time over and over again and did a really good job staying within the confines of Kiffin's offense. It was just difficult to find a lot of them. And yes, that's a knock because you haven't seen him do it, but that doesn't mean that he can't. It just isn't something that's particularly frequent on tape. Here's another example of him doing a good job. 1 to 2, get rid of the football. But these are very basic plays and these are checkdowns. So no, there's not a lot of processing 10 to 15 yards down the field, these kind of dagger concepts, or talking about sails. There aren't a ton of those to see for Jaxson Dart. But the biggest issue that I saw was with his footwork. When he started to drift in the pocket or not step into his throws, you got these kind of results. Wet weather football against an elite Georgia defense, interception. Why? Yes, there's someone in his face. There is pressure. But look at Jaxson Dart throwing this off his back foot, fading away. Step up and take that hit like we talked about earlier. He did it really, really well at times, but he was let down here by letting the go of the football off the back foot. That ball sails in the wet, and it's a very easy turnover for Georgia. When he got away from basic fundamental footwork, it led to issues. Here's another example. Has a really nice deep ball. I like Jaxson Dart throwing it deep. Right now, though, he's got a receiver coming from the left-hand side of your screen. He wants to throw it to the right into the open field. But look where the front foot goes. Jaxson Dart leaking away. That front foot falls away out of the bucket to the left-hand side. We're effectively throwing across our body. He has no arm strength because of it, and it's picked off and thrown underneath where that ball needed to be. He needs to be more consistent stepping into the bucket, having good alignment to his target, and not falling away and having to throw kind of across his body. That's something that Dart really, really needs to work on. But when he got it right, he looked fantastic. From a game later in the season, Jaxson Dart stepping up, climbing the pocket, gets the alignment this time. Look how that front foot goes towards where he wants to throw the football. Really nice lower body mechanics. Have a look at this location. Like, you tell me this isn't the perfect football thrown in the perfect position where his receiver catches it in stride and he's heading straight towards the end zone for 6 points. Jaxson Dart has plenty of arm strength. This goes 55 yards easily. This isn't his max throw or max distance. It's just about the lower half. Get your base right and you're going to be more successful. Because then you get these kind of throws where you're having some anticipation, he's even, he's leaving, and we're just going to hoist this 60 yards down the field like it's nothing. He's got a cannon, he's got plenty of arm strength, he can hit with deep ball accuracy, he just needs to make sure that his footwork is correct. Really like a ton about Jaxson Dart's game. So there's a really detailed look at Jaxson Dart and why he's quarterback 2 in this class for me. I love the tools, and I think a lot of the weaknesses aren't negative plays. They aren't throwing across his body into traffic or being late or poor processing. It's just that there's a lot of first time reads. There isn't a ton of processing and you have to project what it looks like at the next level. That often scares teams, but we've just seen it work with a guy like Bo Nix. I think the Jets should look at bringing in Jaxson Dart if they trade up in the second round, but we'll see what happens in the draft in April.